Okay. So the next part of this session, today's session is in the continuation to what we were doing yesterday. We were doing Prometheus yesterday. We were using Grafana yesterday. And if I go here to our IAM dashboard, which is this one, not this, actually the Miro board. If I come here, this is what basically we were doing yesterday, right? So we tried installing Prometheus on our local machine. Then we installed Grafana on our local machine. Then we installed the Windows exporter on our local machine. And then we are trying to mine the targets, right? 3 targets we mined. Prometheus was mining itself. Then Prometheus mined an application. Then Prometheus was mining the node Windows. Okay, so there were 3 kind of targets which Prometheus was mining or scraping, and then we uh, also installed Grafana. And Grafana, we tried to generate some charts based on the metrics which was available inside the Prometheus. And we also saw the UI part of it. So UI we were accessing from here, and then the Grafana automatically was reaching out to HTTP server, and from there it was fetching it. Okay, so this is basically what we did yesterday, but all of that we did on our local machine. Okay, but today we'll try to run this whole setup on a Kubernetes cluster. Okay, so Prometheus running on Kubernetes, Prometheus running on Grafana, and then Prometheus running on Kubernetes and tracking the Kubernetes cluster and fetching the metrics from Kubernetes cluster, and then Prometheus scraping itself, then Prometheus scraping the information from the node from where it's running, and as well as the application. And then we can see, configure the Grafana to read the value from Prometheus. And from there, it will try to show you some dashboards. So yesterday we were trying to create the dashboards manually, but Grafana has a very rich ecosystem of this automatic dashboards. So you can define the definition of what kind of dashboard you want to have, and then you can describe it inside the Grafana interface, and then Grafana will actually start showing you the various graphs related to different matrices and whatever kind of or type of dashboard you want to see. Okay, so let's see that. For that to work, we'll first try this with the Minikube. Okay, we'll try with the Minikube. I've been trying this a lot today because I wanted to show you. So I've been trying it myself. Okay, let me close this part. Let me just do it from here. Okay, so I have to have a Minikube up first. If I say Minikube start, Minikube start. Okay, it tells me that it is, I've said start. Sorry, it's already started. I have to check Minikube status. It's okay. It's still doing something. Let it run. The next I need to do is I need to go to, maybe I come here and say Prometheus community Helm chart. Okay, you have to come here, and here it will tell you what you have to do. Okay, so it will tell you that you have to first add, and it's a Helm chart. Why I'm using Helm chart, by the way, yesterday, if you notice in the Prometheus case, I was using an installer, and I downloaded it, unzipped it, and then run the application. It was running fine. And that kind of setup is used when you want to install Prometheus on your local or on an actual server. Okay, so you can install Prometheus on an EC2 instance as well. You don't have to install it on a Kubernetes, right? But since Kubernetes can orchestrate anything, any software, Prometheus also has its Helm version. So you can use Prometheus Helm chart to install the Prometheus on actual Kubernetes cluster, where it can track Prometheus, it can track the Kubernetes cluster automatically, and it can track any app running on that specific Kubernetes cluster. Okay, so that's the advantage you get. And of course, Kubernetes is a scalable system, and it's always good if you can run something on the Kubernetes. So that's the actual quite useful use case which is used in the industry. A lot of mostly Prometheus in the industry runs on Kubernetes. I haven't done the survey, but as far as I have seen and known and witnessed, Prometheus usually runs on Kubernetes itself. You don't have to deploy extra and another server, EC2 server, or any other virtual machine. to install Prometheus, and Prometheus provides you with its Helm chart. Okay. Now to make use of this Helm chart, you need to first do a addition of the repo. So whenever you want to make use of any Helm chart, you have to copy this. You have to say Helm repo add, and you have to say like this. Okay. If I go here and I run this, it says already exists because I have already done it, because I've been trying this. So I don't have to do it again. And then I can go to Helm search repo. So now I have added the repo, but then inside the repo, I have to search how many charts are there. I did this, and then it gave me all the charts. These many charts are bundled, actually not bundled. They are actually part of this URL, and I have these options, and I can use these options for different use cases. So you remember when I talked about this diagram, I was saying targets, right? Jobs and exporters. And I also quite strongly emphasized that targets or Prometheus cannot do anything by itself. There has to be something in those targets which is exporting the data, which are exposing the data, not exporting, exposing the data. And then Prometheus server can then use that URL to fetch that data, right? So these are called as exporters. Now Kubernetes already have some exporters. Application I have in the application, if you remember yesterday, I've added a micrometer concept in my Java application, Java Spring Boot application, which acted as an exporter, exposed something using actuator and Prometheus dependency. In the case of nodes and Windows, it was not doing it automatically, right? So I have to download exporter, and explicitly I had to run it. Correct. So you need exporters. So Prometheus provides you some basic exporters also for different things. For Memcache, it provides something. For MongoDB, it provides something. For Nginx, it provides something. So these you can also use if you want to export data from these specific softwares also. Okay. Right now, I'm not interested in that. I just want to run the default Prometheus chart or install the default Prometheus chart. So what I'll do next, I will go here and I'll say Helm install. I have to give the name Prometheus, Metheus, Prometheus, and I will put the name of the chart. So it will then start installing the Prometheus server. Okay, I can check the status. I can say Helm list. So it's saying it has installed this, deployed version 1. Then I say Helm, not the Helm. I can run my kubectl command, kubectl get pods. Okay, so now it's telling me that it has installed Prometheus here, and see what it has installed. It has installed different components. It has installed a node exporter automatically. It has installed a push gateway. It has installed a kube state matrix because it knows that it is deployed on a Kubernetes cluster. So it wants to automatically fetch the Kubernetes metrics. So it has installed this, and it has also installed a alert manager. Okay, now let's go back quickly here. Okay, so this is what it is doing, right? So alert manager, you see we had alert manager. So it has installed alert manager for me. Push gateway, it has installed push gateway for me. To read the values from the Kubernetes cluster, it has installed not really this, but some sort of exporter. And then of course the main HTTP server, this one, right? So if I go back again here, so alert manager, kubestate matrix, Prometheus node exporter, Prometheus push gateway, and the server. Now server is what I am currently interested in because this is what I will use to interact, right? How will I interact with this? For now, it is actually hidden, right? It is a cluster IP, so you cannot directly access it from a URL. You have to do a port forward. So I say kubectl get service. This is my service. Let me get service. So this is actually my service, this one. Okay. And then I will use this, copy kubectl port forward name. And then I have to say it's a service. So I'll say SVC. Okay. And then I want to say I want to expose this on 8081 and pointing to port 80. Okay, so now I'm saying on my local, it has to be 8081, which has to point to port 80 of the service, and port 80 on the service automatically routes my traffic to 9090. That's where my pod is exposed or exposing its service. Now I can go back to my browser, and here I can say localhost 8081, and that's where my Prometheus is now running. Okay, now if I go to status and see targets, it's already telling me that it has started collecting things from the node and from the Kubernetes, basically, right? So this, you see, show less, show less, show less, show less, show less. Okay, so it is automatically uh, automatically collecting data from all of these things. So Prometheus push gateway, it's okay, it won't go there. So it is pulling it from here, it is pulling it from here, it is pulling it from here. So basically it is pulling it from all the services which are running. So remember there was service running when I said run service, whatever is running there, it is trying to fetch it from there. Okay, and if I go to service discovery, will I get something, right? So service discovery, it is also showing me all the data from there. So idea is when you install the Helm chart using Prometheus Helm chart, then it will start automatically is configured to start scraping the data from the services which are running in the Kubernetes and from anything from the Kubernetes nodes and all the other things. So you see Kubernetes pods, it is trying to taking it as a service that is trying to discover that service. Automatically it has discovered it and it is trying to scrape it and it's trying to publish that data directly here. Okay, I can show something, maybe can I show it here? Okay, so maybe what kind of data I can search here? Maybe cube CPU, or maybe pod container, something on container. Resource requests, maybe this execute. Okay, fine. So whatever pods which are running currently, it is showing you how many times the request. If you notice this one, this specific one, it has like in crores, 7 something, 7.3 something. This is coming from core DNS. Okay, if you notice this one, it is coming from etcd, which is a memory. Okay, and then different pods, you're getting the values from different pods. So all this is coming from where? So all this is coming from automated service discovery by Prometheus, right? So I'll say get svc a. So whatever you're seeing here, it is automatically is fetching it. Okay, all the targets which you saw earlier is actually automatically coming from the services, which is already there. So it is, so just to summarize, it is fetching everything. It is fetching, scraping everything from the cluster. Okay, fine. Next part here is the Grafana part. Okay, which is Grafana Helm chart. You can go here and click here, and the same thing you have to do. So here I can just go here, say Helm repo add Grafana like this. So you have to just copy this, copy. You have to come here, and I will say this. It's already there. So I'll say Helm search just to see what is there in this repository, how many charts we have. So I'll say Helm search Grafana or Helm search repo Grafana. And it gives me these many charts we have here doing different things. Right now, I'm only interested in the Grafana part. Okay, so I'll go here. I'll say git, or not git, sorry. I'll say Helm install Grafana and the name of the chart. and this will help me installing the Grafana. Okay, I say git, why I'm saying git again, I don't know, Helm list. It shows me that I have two charts there. Then I say kubectl get pods, and then I see these many pods we have. I say get csvc. It shows me that it has these many services. Now let's see if Prometheus have started scraping this. There is some default time, I think it's maybe 1 minute, but let's see if it is started coming there, because it automatically tracks all the services and targets, etc. Service discovery, the drive. Okay, maybe it's not did not come yet. It will come, but maybe after some time. But all the other services like API service nodes, all these things, push gateway, everything is automatically coming from here. So all of this is actually being automatically tracked by Prometheus. Okay. Now Grafana, I have to access the UI. The same problem I have there. So I say kubectl get service. I have Grafana here. I want to do a port forward to Grafana. So I say kubectl get, I'd say port. Okay, port forward, and then service, name of the service, and then port, I'm saying 8082 and saying 80. Okay, so I have this, and it will start my Prometheus running here, but this will then run on localhost 8082. Okay, here it will ask me for the username password. I say admin and admin. Admin. Oh, sorry, it's not admin. You have to find it out. Okay, so I go here. Okay, and let me open this again. So I have to find it out from the Grafana secrets. I say get secret. I have a secret called as Grafana here. Then I will say I mean, this is how you can find out the secrets. You can find out what is the secret. And Grafana Helm chart has this instruction. Now you may ask how I know this, because I have read the documentation. The documentation, they have told us where they have kept the default username and password. So default username and password in the case of Grafana Helm chart is placed inside kubectl get kubectl secrets. And to get it, how to know this is what I'm telling you right now. So I say I have kubectl get secret ret secret, and then output as JSON. No, this is not right. What did I write? Oh, I'm sorry. I've done something wrong. kubectl get secret. I have to set Grafana. Okay, so I have a secret Grafana, which is whose value is coming here. Okay, and I have this data inside this, and the admin password is this, and admin user is this, but this doesn't make sense because this is base 64 encoded. So I have to decode it first in order to actually use it. So I can copy this. There are many ways of you can decode it. You can use base 64 command and then decode it. I'm not sure what is the command for PowerShell. I'm using PowerShell. On Linux, it's base 64 / decode. But I will quickly use browsers. In the browser also, you can use JavaScript method to decode something. The console. Oh, not clear, sorry. I say ATOB. And then I can come here in the brackets, I can paste it, and it gives me the username. Username is admin. And the same thing I can do for my password, which is this one. So I copy this and I go here and I say ATOB, enter, and this is actually my password. So I will just copy this part, Control C, paste it here, login. and then it will let me log in. So, okay, so just to summarize, once I have installed the Grafana, I kubectl get svc, I have the service Grafana, but I cannot access it because I need to have a password. How will I know the password? For every installation, a unique password will be created inside kubectl get secrets. Okay, so there are these many secrets available. Grafana created a secret file which is here, and this you have to read. Once you read, you say kubectl get secret Grafana, you get something like this. From there, you can use admin password, admin user, but you have to decode it. To decode it, you can use something called as base64 if you're using Linux. For PowerShell, also there must be something which I'm not sure of at the moment. I'm new to PowerShell, but then I can use browser, and in the browser, I can use this command called as atob. Okay, that's what I was showing you, atob, and you can paste something inside brackets, something like this. Okay, and then it will give you the real value. Okay, now I have no dashboard here, so I will have to first configure. I go to home, and then I click on data sources. The data sources, I have something called as Prometheus, because Grafana is not only built for Prometheus, it is built for different kinds of time series databases and many other things you can use Grafana for, right? You can fetch the whole information from CloudWatch, and all the other things. Okay, it has everything, Dynatrace, Datadog, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so right now I am focused on Prometheus. So I'll click on Prometheus. Here I need to give the Prometheus server URL. Now what server URL I will give here? Can anyone tell me? If anyone is still listening, of course. I know everyone is sleeping, huh?
No.
Okay, so I have to provide the URL of the Prometheus.
Prometheus.
Yes, so I'll say kubectl get service, kubectl get service, kubectl get svc. Okay, kubectl get service, and here I can get the, guys, can you go on mute, please? Okay, from here I will know my server is listening at this cluster IP. So I need to provide my cluster IP there. Okay, so I need to provide the cluster IP, which is this one, and listening at port 80. And that's what I will provide here. I'll say HTTP, okay, and say 80 port, which I think is by default. And I can go down, click on save and test, and then it just works. Okay, and then if I go back here to my home and click on dashboards, okay, I don't have any dashboard. I can go and click on new, or I can do an import, and these two are different things. If I go on new dashboard, this is what we've seen. You can have to go click add visualization, click on Prometheus, and then all the metrics which we have in Prometheus will come here, and then you have to click them, run queries, and apply, and all those things. You have to do all of that manually. Okay, which is a bit more cumbersome and will take time. But a good practice is Grafana already provides you with a lot of such dashboards. Okay, you can go search saying Grafana dashboard for Kubernetes. Okay, and then it will give you these kind of dashboards which you can download. So I can click on download JSON. Once I click on download JSON, it will download a JSON file, something like which I've already done here. Okay, so you will save it like this, and then you go to new dashboard. So I go to dashboards, save dashboard, save. So this is the dashboard which I created manually, but then I can go to my dashboards here, click on new, and click on import. And when I click on import, I can load that JSON file. So I'm importing this for now. Click on, okay, select the source, Prometheus, import, and my dashboards are already there. Okay, so it is telling me how much memory usage I have, how many cluster CPU usage. This is right now tracking the Minikube. Okay, it is telling me how much network is coming, CPU cluster, file system usage, pods, how your pods are behaving, how your containers are behaving right now, because I'm not running much, so it's not showing anything. Okay, but it literally tells you about almost everything from the same location. Okay, and this dashboard is automatically created for me. Okay, guys, I have to rush. I don't have much time left, but still I'll give you like 2 minutes to ask if you have anything.